Hello everybody, my name is Khaled Siddiqui, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to change the battery in your TomTom VIA or TomTom VIA. Model number, let's see, model 4EV52. 4EV52, that's the model number. Now this unit, it looks like this, and it has a hook on the back. Basically that's where it mounts, and we're going to change the battery. Okay, let's get going. The first thing you need to do is you need to unplug it. Always make sure to unplug it before you do any kinds of operations on your GPS units. Once you unplugged it, you have to twist this way and then go sideways. Once you're sideways, take it out like that. This pulls out. Okay, set this aside. Right inside that there is a hole, and there's a screw in that hole. That screw is size T5, star-shaped T5 screw, as you can see right there. We have to open that screw. Nice and easy. There we go. We were going to put our screw inside a little bin so we don't lose it, and put it aside. Once that's open, you have to pry the two edges with something very carefully. I would use a plastic knife or a guitar pick or something. So I have a plastic knife here which I'm going to use. So you have to, let me clean this. There. So you go like that and like this, and you go right here and go like that. So now it's open already, nice and easily. It's basically snaps. That's what it is. It's a snap in, snap out type of thing. Now it's completely open. Now make sure you not to open it wide, because there are cables that will be disconnected and broken. So you have to be very careful and make sure you're holding it upright like this. Like this is the top. Hold the top up and disconnect this cable right there. Let me zoom in for you so you can see much better. That's the cable right here that we are trying to disconnect. Okay, okay, so it's not an easy disconnect. I had to really pry my nails in there. Okay, now that we have disconnected this, the LCD cable is the next project which we need to disconnect. Now be very careful, because these cables, you have to first, you see that white bar, you have to pull that white bar out and pull it out from the other side as well. After you pull both sides out and there's a parallel distance between this and that, the LCD slides out. Very, very simple. Very simple. So now we have the LCD taken out. If we have to change the screen, this is how we change the screen. You open right here. As you can see, there are like little clips that are holding it here, and that's all I'm doing. I'm just disengaging those little clips, and this is my LCD. So I get a new LCD and put it in place, and once I have the new LCD, you snap it back in just like that. Again, make sure the flat ribbon cable is at the bottom of the LCD. So this is how the unit is, right? So the flat ribbon is at the bottom, and this right here is the microphone cable, which goes right there. So that's what that is. Now we have to access the battery. The battery is on the other side of this PCB board. The back side of the board has the battery. Again, be careful. You have 4 additional screws to open. However, these screws are not star-shaped. These are Phillips screwdrivers. Phillips screws, so you need a Phillips screwdriver. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so I have all 4 screws taken out. I have 1 more wire to unplug. This is the speaker wire. And now I can easily lift this up. This wire is extremely critical. Be careful not to disconnect this wire. This is the FM antenna. So this is the battery. This is the actual battery. So this is how you unplug the battery. Actually, it's a good idea to slide the plastic and not pull it from the cable. That wasn't a good thing I did. So this is how you should open it. Watch. Never pull it from the cable. So it's kind of slide it from here. Like that. So the cable doesn't come off. Be careful with this. This can break very, very easily. The batteries on these are glued, like with double-sided sticky tape. So what you need is to unstick it with a flat screwdriver, like that. And that's all it is. The replacement battery, let me grab the replacement battery. Okay, so the replacement battery has a little peel off type of protection to reveal its glue stickiness. So I'm gonna put this replacement battery here and push it down, apply a lot of pressure, make sure it's getting a good grip and sticking well, and then you plug this back in, plug it back in, and put the cables through that little notch and seat this board back in its place. Plug this one back in, and now we have 4 screws to put back in. Okay, so let's take these screws and put them back in. These screws are Phillips, as I said, so be careful not to mix this screw with the one screw that's for the outer case, because that one is star shaped where these are Phillips. Big difference. So you have to make sure to know exactly which screw goes where, because the screws, if you switch the screws, the length is different and the threading is different, because this is a self-tapping screw and this one is a micro screw with metric measurements. It's not a self-tapping screw basically. Okay, so I have all 4 screws back in place, nice and neat. Make sure this one is out and it's out in parallel position, not like this. This is not parallel, so it has to be out, all the way out in parallel position. And then you put this one back in. You have to push it back in so the white line is completely invisible. So if it's this, if it's like that, that's wrong, because it's sideways. This is wrong. Let me go zoom a little closer. See, this right here is correct way. This is wrong. So you have to make sure it's all the way in. Once it's all the way in, only then you will lock back the white tab. and make sure to lock the white tab in parallel, meaning, okay, now this isn't good. See how that white bar is showing up? So I'm gonna have to push it back in. Okay, now it's pushed in all the way, and now I'm gonna close the white tab in parallel, so both sides are in and they're in parallel. Now I'm going to close this, bring it closer, but don't close it because you have to plug this in, the microphone wire. There, the microphone wire is pushed in, and now all you have to do is snap it back in place. That's all you have to do, snap it in place. It's nice and neat, snapped in. Okay, now we have one screw to put back in place. Using our T5 star-shaped screwdriver, we will put the screw back in. Once the screw is back in, we snap this one back in. And that's snapped in, and the puppy should be up and running into no time. Okay, let's turn it on and see if the surgery was successful. Okay, we have an image and we have sound, so that's called a successful surgery. And now I'm going to make sure the battery is holding charge, because it wouldn't. The battery was completely dead, it wouldn't hold any charge. And I'm going to test the touch screen, make sure that I plugged in the screen correctly, including the touch screen functionality is back to normal. Okay, it's loading the map, so it's going to take a while, because the first initial startup after you replace the battery will be like a startup from zero. So remember the note that says change battery? That's because the battery is brand new, it has a zero charge. When it has a zero charge, obviously it says change battery. So we have to let it run and charge the battery, but other than that, the unit is working, it's up and running, and everything seems to be good. All right, that's it. So I hope this was useful information to you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.